Lions faithful, welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your home for all the breaking news and insider updates on our beloved team. Today I've got something that's going to shake the foundation of everything we thought we knew about this franchise's future. Something that connects the past, present, and future of Detroit football in a way nobody saw coming. Stay with me because what I'm about to share will change how you view this entire season and beyond. December 2025. The Lions are sitting at the top of the NFC, looking like legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Jared Goff is playing MVP-caliber football. Jahmyr Gibbs is rewriting the record books. The offense is humming like a finely tuned machine. Everything seems perfect, right? But behind the scenes, conversations are happening that could bring back a name we never thought we'd hear in a Lions uniform again. A name that defined this franchise for over a decade. A name that still makes some fans emotional just thinking about the what-ifs. Let me take you back for a moment. January 2021, the trade that changed everything. Matthew Stafford, the quarterback who gave his heart and soul to Detroit for 12 seasons, was sent to Los Angeles in exchange for Jared Goff and a package of draft picks that seemed almost too good to be true. At the time, many questioned whether Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell could turn those assets into something meaningful. The Rams were championship ready, and we were entering a complete rebuild. Stafford got his ring in 2022, and we were left wondering if we'd made the right choice. But here's where the story gets interesting. Those draft picks didn't just become players. They became the foundation of what we're watching right now. Let me break down exactly what Detroit got from that trade, because understanding this is crucial to understanding where we might be headed. Jared Goff was the centerpiece, obviously. The Rams couldn't wait to get rid of him, viewing him as damaged goods after that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. He arrived in Detroit with questions about his arm strength, his ability to read defenses, his mental toughness. 4 years later, he's thrown for at least 29 touchdowns in each of the last 3 seasons and finished 5th in MVP voting last year. He's started every single game since putting on the Honolulu Blue 68 straight, including playoffs. Goff himself admitted he had hard feelings about being sent off to die in Detroit, but later called it the greatest thing that ever happened to him. That's not just talk. That's a man who found his home, the draft capital, was equally transformative. That 2021 third-round pick became Ifeatu Melifonwu, who gave us solid depth at cornerback for 3 seasons before injuries derailed his 2024 campaign. He's now with Miami, but he played his role in building this defense. Then came 2022, when the Rams won the Super Bowl and handed us the 32nd overall pick. Holmes didn't just use it. He packaged it with other assets to move up 20 spots and grab Jameson Williams at number 12. Think about that move for a second. Williams dealt with early injuries and suspensions, but once he hit his stride, he became unstoppable. Over 1,000 yards in 2024 with 7 touchdowns, on pace to break 1,000 again this year, and locked up with an $83 million extension in September. That's not just a good pick. That's a franchise cornerstone. Oh, and that trade with Minnesota that got us Williams, it also netted us the 46th pick, which became Josh Paschal. He's been a steady presence on the defensive line, starting 10 games last year before a back injury sidelined him this season. Still, that's another quality starter from the Stafford Hall. But Holmes wasn't done. When the Rams went 5-12 in 2022, they handed Detroit the 6th overall pick in 2023. Most GMs would have stayed put and taken the best player available, not Holmes. He traded down to 12, picked up extra selections including the 34th pick, and absolutely fleeced Arizona in the process. The Cardinals took Paris Johnson at 6. We took Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. Remember the criticism when that pick was announced. The talking heads said we reached, that we didn't need a running back, that Holmes was overthinking it. Fast forward to today, and Gibbs is second among all running backs with 16 touchdowns, averaging over 134 total yards per game, and tied with Barry Sanders for most touchdowns in NFL history before turning 24. Barry Sanders. Let that sink in. And we weren't finished. That 34th pick from Arizona became Sam Laporta, who immediately set the NFL record for receptions by a rookie tight end with 89 catches and 10 touchdowns. Pro Bowl selection in year one. He's been out since mid-November with a back injury, but when healthy, he's one of the most dynamic tight ends in football. Even the later picks had purpose. Broderick Martin went 96th overall in 2023, though he struggled to crack the rotation and eventually landed in Pittsburgh after stops in Kansas City. Not every pick hits. But the hit rate from this trade has been absolutely phenomenal, so let me paint the full picture. From the Stafford trade, Detroit got Jared Goff, Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Josh Pascal, Ifeatu Melifonwu, and Broderick Martin. That's 4 legitimate stars and 3 quality contributors from one transaction. That's the kind of franchise-altering move that general managers dream about pulling off. Brad Holmes didn't just win the trade, he dominated it. Now here's where things get really interesting. Matthew Stafford is 37 years old. His contract with the Rams runs through 2026, but there are rumblings that Los Angeles might be heading toward another rebuild. They're struggling to stay competitive in a loaded NFC West, and Stafford's age combined with their salary cap situation creates a potential opening. The Rams might be looking to get younger, to reset their timeline, to avoid paying an aging quarterback top dollar when they're not in championship contention. Meanwhile, Jared Goff, despite his incredible performance, will be 31 next season. He's under contract through 2028 with a massive cap hit, but the Lions have an out after 2026 that would save significant money if they chose to move on. Now, I'm not saying they will. Goff has earned every penny, and then some. But in the NFL, front offices always explore every option, always look at every angle. And here's the piece that makes this more than just speculation. Stafford has always maintained his love for Detroit. He's said multiple times that leaving wasn't his choice, that he wanted to compete for championships, but never stopped caring about this city and this fan base. His wife, Kelly, has been vocal about their connection to Detroit. The Staffords still have roots here, still have relationships with people in the organization. Imagine this scenario. The 2025 season ends, and the Lions make a deep playoff run, but fall short of the Super Bowl. Goff plays well, but shows signs of the limitations that have always been part of his game. Meanwhile, Stafford's situation in L.A. becomes untenable as the Rams commit to a youth movement. Detroit has a championship-caliber roster, a top-tier defense, weapons everywhere, and an offensive line that can protect any quarterback. All we need is that one final piece, that veteran presence who's been there and won it all. Brad Holmes picks up the phone. The conversation is simple. Matthew, do you want to come home? Do you want to finish what you started? Do you want to bring a championship to the city that drafted you, that believed in you, that never stopped loving you even after you left? The financial logistics would be complex, but not impossible. Stafford would likely need to take a team-friendly deal, something in the range of $20 to $25 million per year for 2 seasons. The Lions would need to restructure some contracts, maybe move on from a few veterans, but it could work, and the narrative would be absolutely perfect. The quarterback who was traded away returns to lead the team built with the picks from his own trade to a Super Bowl championship. Hollywood couldn't write a better script. From a football standpoint, it makes sense, too. Stafford still has the arm talent, still has the experience, still has that gunslinger mentality that can win you games in January and February. He knows what it takes to win a championship now. He's been through the pressure, handled the spotlight, delivered in the biggest moments. Pairing him with Dan Campbell's culture, with Ben Johnson's offensive scheme, with the talent we've assembled, could be the combination that finally brings a Lombardi trophy to Detroit. I know some of you are thinking, this sounds crazy. I know some of you are ride or die with Goff, and I respect that. He's earned that loyalty. But the NFL is a business, and if there's an opportunity to upgrade at the most important position while bringing back a franchise legend, you have to at least explore it. You have to run the numbers, have the conversations, see if the pieces fit. And here's the thing that gets me most excited about this possibility. If it happens, it validates everything Brad Holmes has built. It shows that the Stafford trade wasn't just about getting draft picks. It was about creating a sustainable winner, a team so attractive that even the player we traded away wants to come back and be part of it. That's the ultimate testament to what this organization has become under Holmes and Campbell. The timeline makes sense, too. Stafford could give us 2 elite years, enough time to draft and develop his eventual replacement. We could win now while also planning for the future. It's the best of both worlds, the kind of strategic thinking that separates good franchises from great ones. So where does this leave us? Right now, it's all speculation. There haven't been any official reports, any confirmed conversations, any concrete movements, but the pieces are there. The possibility is real. And for a fan base that's waited 60-plus years for a championship, the idea of Matthew Stafford coming home to finish the job is almost too perfect to ignore. I'm optimistic about this, Lions faithful. I'm excited about the possibility. Whether it's Goff leading us to glory or Stafford returning for one final chapter, this team is built to win now. We have the talent, the coaching, the culture, and the momentum. The future has never been brighter in Detroit. Now I want to hear from you. Would you welcome Matthew Stafford back with open arms? Do you think Goff has earned the right to see this through? How would you feel about this potential move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is the kind of discussion that makes being a Lions fan so incredible right now. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of every Lions development, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report and hit that notification bell. I'm bringing you the most in-depth analysis, the fastest updates, and the insider perspective you won't find anywhere else. Share this with your fellow Lions fans, give it a thumbs up if you appreciate this kind of content, and I'll see you in the next one. One pride always.